Let's have some more words from students. Students from Xavier, Mount Hira, Aquinas, King David and St Columba's. Come on down.
Well, it's hard really to sum up my experience of building bridges, being such an amazing journey of learning about Jewish, Muslim and other Christian faiths. There's so many things I could talk about, from an Islam girl rapping, which I thought was totes choice. I mean, it's just amazing. And I was like, how does this happen? I don't know any Muslim girls who rap, that's pretty cool. To going to the Jewish school and finding out by a beard who is homeless, Hasid or hipster. That was pretty cool as well. And I think that was a great way of showing the lighter side of our faiths. We've had the Indigenous Art Day where we had everyone painting the sculptures, which was fantastic, and I really got a lot out of that, and it was a great chance to just talk to people and not have anything up there like barriers or anything. And I really liked the when we went to the Islam school, we had a prayer that the Islam people would normally do at that time of the day, which I found really special that they chose to share that with us. So yeah, it really fits in with our current study of world religions, as Miss Crowley mentioned earlier on. We're learning about all different faiths in our world, and I think I've learned a whole lot more coming to this program than I would have if I'm just reading it out of a textbook. So yeah, it's great.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, teachers, staff and parents. I'm not actually going to rap. Apparently all the other Islamic schools did that and they didn't tell me, so that's going to happen. My name is Yusuf and I'm from Mount Hira College. My friends encouraged me to sign up for the Building Bridges program because they did it last year and they really enjoyed it, and I have to say that I agree with them. I thoroughly enjoyed the program because it allowed me to meet new people who I wouldn't normally meet, and it allowed me to interact with them and make friends of new faiths. It also allowed me to share experiences that I wouldn't normally be able to share at home or at school, and that was what I found what I liked most about the program. The Building Bridges program allowed me to expand on my understanding of different cultures and religions. It also allowed me to realize that the differences that we have between us are really minor compared to other issues that we share in common. And as a lot of other people have also said before me, that the Building Bridges program lives up to its name of building metaphorical bridges over vast differences in religion and culture, bringing us closer and putting these differences away in turn for even vaster similarities. And I'm actually going to finish with a Christian prayer that I learned from another school, and it's an extract of it, and it's: "Go forth into the world in peace, be of good courage, hold fast to that which is good, render to no one evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the afflicted, and honour everyone." And I reckon these are very good words for everyone to live by. Thanks.
Now, I'm really glad you didn't rap, because I don't think I could have followed that. Hello, my name's Jake Cronin. I'm from Aquinas College. Today I was supposed to come here and tell you about what I enjoyed most, or something that I really did admire. But I don't think I could really do that with this speech, because I want to keep it as casual as possible, because this experience was, for lack of a better term, casual. Now, and I think that is the way you have to approach something like this when you're talking about people's cultures and religions. You have to keep it, otherwise, you'll have a lot of conflict and it's never going to be good. So a good friend asked me the other day, what do I actually do at Building Bridges? And I was absolutely stumped, because it's really hard to define what we do. We go together, and so there's no essay writing, there's no written reflections, so it was very hard. But I think the best way I described it was a group of people that got together and had fun. Now, at the start of this, I was very shy, very awkward about it, and I really didn't think I could go up to anyone. But now that the program's ended, I think I could go up to each and every one of you and have a discussion. And I could even get up and give a speech about my time at Building Bridges. To mention my small group, which was run by Ollie, our facilitator, who we thank for his time. A group of guys that came in once a week for 1 hour for several weeks to come into a room, sit down and talk about faith and among other things. The first conversation I think we had was very, very awkward. and then the others were very, very odd. By the end of the experience, I realised that we had a lot in common, and at the end of the day, to put all our differences and religions, we did really have a lot in common. We shared a lot of things, we all liked a lot of things, and it was brilliant. And I think each of us could tell us a favourite story that each of us had, from wacky socks to buckets of KFC chicken. But that's a story for another night. At the end of the day, after we sat down for several weeks, we all got to know each other, and I think we could all go to a park for a weekend and we'd be able to spend a heap of time with each other and have lots to talk about. Now, if you think about the name Building Bridges and what it means, I think we really all did achieve that, because we were able to metaphorically build bridges, and we were able to create new relationships with each other, and we've all done that. So I think this program has been quite a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'd like to invite another gentleman up now, but a Luther dad. David Spike, would you come on down and share with us what it's like to be a parent of one of these amazing students?
Thank you, Ruth. Yes, my name's David. I'm the father of Jemima and Jesse, two good Hebrew names. I was asked, I think I was watching telly one night, my daughter walked in and she'd just come back from building bridges, and I said, how was it? She said, it was really good. And she said, oh, they need someone to speak. And I said, oh yeah, okay. I said, look, if no one else says yes, I'll do it. And then I realised about 2 days ago that I wasn't just a parent to speak, I was the parent to speak. I am very appreciative of the experiences that my daughter has been afforded through this program, because I'm very aware that while she goes to a fantastic school at Luther College, it's also a very monocultural world that she lives in. It's a world that's very different from the one I grew up in as a child in New Guinea, and the world that I grew up in was a very diverse world, a world in which we experienced building relationships with children of many different cultural and religious backgrounds. In fact, as I was reflecting on this recently with another colleague, I didn't actually ever realise in any cognitive way that there were differences between us as young people. In some ways, I think the differences or the divisions that separate people are things that we tend to take on more as adults. I'm appreciative of the safe environment that Building Bridges has provided, and I know that students have talked about those initial tentative steps, accompanied with a little bit of perhaps fear, cautious politeness about how to engage with each other. And it does take a degree of courage, and so congratulations to all of you for taking that courageous step toward each other. But also takes a well-constructed, well-organised and moderated program to allow that trust and communication to develop. So I want to thank the organisers and the facilitators for making that possible, because, as you know, that's not always something that we experience in our modern culture. There are a few things that I want to just quickly touch on by way of what I've seen in my own daughter's learning and the way that's perhaps impacted on us too as parents. The first thing, and this has been reflected many times tonight, is an awareness of our common humanity and, from my perspective, the image of God that we all bear. And that forms the basis or the ground of our relationships with each other, and it sees through, if you like, the various other externals that we might either identify about each other or perhaps put up for ourselves. And so I'm really thrilled that they've been given this opportunity to recognise that common humanity they have, and to share that, and to share the hopes that they have in common, but also the concerns and the struggles. There's been a sense of solidarity as young people growing up in our contemporary Australia. The second is, I'd just like to use the metaphor of fences and gates. For me, it's always been a helpful metaphor in terms of interfaith conversations. And I think that interfaith dialogue needs to happen in the context of integrity, that we do. There are things that are different about our expressions of faith and the things that we hold dear, and they do form fences. But there are also equally gates. There are opportunities for us to recognise the things that we share in common. And so I appreciate that there's, for my daughter anyway, I'm sure it's been for all of the students involved, a deep learning and clarification about her own faith and her own experience of God and the way that she lives that out. But then also a deep appreciation for the experience of other people and people of other faiths. So it's been it's sort of a dual learning that's gone on. And I'd also just like to touch on the fact that as a family, we've also been richly blessed through the experience as well, in the sense that we had some really rich conversations. I know there were rich conversations taking place in the car on the way home with the other students, and I'm sure that was experienced by other students going back to other schools as well. But equally, I'm sure there were conversations that happened in your homes as well. Good opportunities to touch on the important things that we as families share. Lastly, I just want to say thank you to the young people for being involved, not just for what you've learned for yourselves, or even for how that maybe has helped in your course, your VCE, study of religions, but more importantly for the way that this paves pathway for a much richer, respectful and unified Australia. I think that as people of faith, we have a gift to offer our communities and our Australia, which is increasingly secularised, and we see evidence of the divisions that sometimes tear Australian society apart. So thank you, and you will, from this experience, take those experiences of trust and respect and understanding with you, and I know that that will shape not only your experience of Australian society, but you will indeed help to shape the experiences of Australian society for other people as well. Finally, one thing I've also learned as I watched the videos tonight, that much can be accomplished, and maybe our world leaders meeting the G20 need to know this as well. Much can be accomplished with pizza and a game of soccer. Thank you very much.
Zainab, thank you so much for sharing with us before your amazing blossoming talent. Can you tell us how you came to get involved in spoken word in that movement?
Wait, is this one? No. Well, at first, I used to enjoy watching other people perform spoken words, so on YouTube, and then I began going to actually go witness them perform. And then every time, like in class, sometimes the teacher tell us to like write poems about certain topics. And then I found it easier that when I rapped it, it was easier for me to actually come up with the poem. So yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. So where do you see this stuff?
Huh?
Where do you see it?
Oh, on YouTube and sometimes in like Islamic gatherings.
Islamic gatherings. This happens a bit. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Cool. So who would you say are your influences? Are there any names that you have?
There's Bona Muhammad and there's Kamal Salah.
Do you know, is there much of a movement here in Australia for outside the Islamic movement of spoken word?
Ben actually.
There is.
Yeah, there is.
There is. Yeah, there is. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Okay. So tell us how you write a piece. What happens?
Well, I get a pen and a paper and then I start writing. No, I'm just kidding.
That was a really dumb question, wasn't it?
No. First, I sit down. I go over the question or the topic, and then I look at it from my point of view and how I understand it. Then I just write about it.
Okay. Yeah. Have you had much feedback?
Huh?
Have you had much feedback from from other professionals or any other teachers?
Teachers.
They try to say, okay, you should change this and do this at all?
Maybe.
Maybe not yet. No worries, Zainab. At our Creative Day, Zainab performed a piece for us, which when the student from Minaret College got up and did his piece, we realised was exactly the same piece which she is about to perform for us again. which is no matter because Zainab brings her own performance to it. And can you tell us a little bit about this particular piece? Who wrote it? Where's it from?
It's called Introducing Islam, and it's by this spoken word poet from America, and her name is Amal Ahmed.
Excellent. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing with us, and take it away.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Islam, the root word of peace, salam, or even salima, meaning submission, which to a Muslim is like his tuition. But before I begin, let me greet you like I'm supposed to do. So, assalamu alaikum, may peace be upon you. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm accused of oppressing when really I'm oppressed. I've become on the list of things to detest. I'm screamed in rage at almost every protest, and I've become the Red Scare, a threat to the West, you see. If you look at me and all my obligations, you'll see why I have such a great population. It's because there's that motivation and that sense of inspiration that keeps Muslim as their occupation. To me, being a good Muslim means being a good person, because I never tell you to kill or to slay or to lie at least 5 times a day. I'll never tell you to steal or to hate or to swear or to discriminate. I actually tell you to smile to everyone you see, because a smile is the best form of charity. I tell you to not smoke and not drink, to stay clean and take showers so you simply don't stink. I tell you to be kind to animals and treat them with care. So yes, I'm against animal testing and abuse, in case you weren't aware. I tell you to treat those who treat you better. I tell you to not stay mad at someone for more than 3 days. I tell you to respect women and to lower your gaze. I tell you that paradise lies under the feet of your mother. I tell you to passionately love your significant other. I tell you to never mistreat your wife. I mean, if I tell you to care for animals, then what about the love of your life? I tell you to be precious and save yourself for the one, so you don't keep giving yourself away till you're literally done. I tell you to be moderate, and that balance is key. Just in the middle is the perfect place to be. I tell you to excel in everything you do, from that essay to that slam dunk too. I tell you to clear your ignorance and to never judge, to love for your bro what you love for yourself, and to never hold a grudge. I tell you how to be a good person, a person of peace and a person of love. And they say I'm a terrorist, an extremist, and you know what? I am a terrorist. I terrorize terror. I kill injustice just to make this world fairer. I am an extremist. I am extremely kind, so beware of my extreme benevolence to all of mankind. And yes, there are those who kill and bomb in my name, but if I don't approve, then why am I to be blamed? In every religion, there are those who abuse it, thinking they have a permit to do wrong. A religion may be perfect, but its followers may not be, so when mine commit mistakes, don't blame it on me. I give what I got, and what I got is good, so if they do otherwise, they misunderstood. I'm not here to preach, I'm just here to teach. I'm a professor in politics, economy, sociology, in manners and etiquette. I got my PhD. To all my teachings, I got 2 sources. The book of God and the words of the prophet are my resources. I teach for free, and to whoever desires to learn, I do it for the sake of Allah. I ask for nothing in return, and listen. I'm not here to convert, but just to clear misconceptions with the way I'm viewed and my common perceptions, because yes, it hurts when I'm literally abused by some who do it for pleasure just to be amused, and by some who follow the trend because they're clearly confused. In a nutshell, I am Islam. Thank you.
Wow. She's got a bit of a future, don't you think? Now it's time for you. We would like to invite all of the students, particularly those who haven't had the opportunity to share, to come down all on stage together. So just everybody come on down. We want you to come down to participate in question time. One of the highlights of the presentation night is the opportunity for the people in the audience to ask questions of the students. We've got a couple of microphones, one that Tim has. If you wave your hand, he'll come and give it to you so you can ask a question. And I've got one for the students to answer for. If that makes sense? So listen to the question carefully and see if you would like to answer it, and put your hand up. Okay? I would request though that if you've already spoken tonight, that you let someone else speak before, unless nobody wants to answer it.
Don't be shy, it's okay.
My question is, where to from now with these insights? being obviously we've taken all away from the faith access, but the knowledge that we've had in the last couple of months has been absolutely incredible. Like, as it's been touched on before, I've never talked to anybody really of a different faith before, quite honestly, which has been so cool. You kind of lose them. I said a while back, actually, on the Creative Day, that you kind of forget the real reason for coming. Like, you forget the real idea that you actually, people. You see, when I came in, I thought everyone was the same. I like to think that everyone was equal. I love to believe in equality, everything like that. However, honestly, until this program, I honestly didn't 100% believe that. Until I could actually start talking to these lovely people here, I really didn't realise how awesome everybody actually is, no matter... Don't worry. I didn't actually realise how special everyone else is, how similar they are to me, yet how different they are. And that's absolutely awesome. And to answer your question, probably, Mum, I'm going to take a bit of responsibility for this, and also take Maddie as well. But we've actually started a Facebook group in our region, I think we're the Eastern region. Yeah. Yeah, we started this group in the Eastern region. It's been really cool. Had a lot of good feedback. We started with 15 members who all I invited. I feel a little bit embarrassed. I was kind of expecting not many people to do it. I thought it was just a bit of fun or whatever. And a couple of my friends said, excuse me, it wouldn't work either. Thanks, mate. But we did. We're now at 90 members, I think, last my check. So thank you so much, guys. And we're also, before I know where to go now, but we've actually, on the Creative Day, we're actually starting to think about ideas of picnics coming up, and we are very cool kids, we're going to do a picnic. And we're all going to meet up at some stage, and it's going to be really cool. So, stand here, thank you.
You have a question at the back?
I wonder if someone from each of the faiths could say for them personally, what is the one real distinctive thing about their faith that's special to them?
Hi. My name's Noe, and to answer your question, would be one thing that's very distinctive about my faith, and I realise that is very similar to everyone else's faith, is family. So, like, even though the three major religions here are Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, like, we all share that same quality, like family. Like my friend Lexis here, pretty good friends with her. She's a junior. I mean, she's a Jew, and I'm a Muslim. And like in the media, like we're portrayed like, you know, we're complete, you know, contradictive faiths and stuff. But like we get along. We like the same things. We're from the central region. We don't have a Facebook page. We don't have a Facebook page, but we've all like connected through like Snapchat and stuff. I've met really good friends. This is my second year here as well. So something distinctive would be like the friendship and the like sort of like that family bonding you get with all these cool, amazing people. So yeah.
As a Christian, the main teaching of Jesus is to love everyone. And I think that's the main point of the Christian faith, and that's been the most awesome part about building bridges, is getting to know all of you and getting to love all of you as well, which is...
I'm a Jewish representative. I think for me, something that got highlighted for myself within my own religion through the Building Bridges process was the importance of education within Judaism, and that's something that's really important to me and to my religion, and being educated about all other religions as well as my own and as well as secular culture. But for me, that's something that really stands out about Judaism.
I guess we have more than one God, probably a lot, and each person has a different God that they specifically believe in. That's what I think is different.
Okay, so when I first found out about this program, I was not very sure about what exactly was going to come out from it, what I would learn, what I would experience with everyone. And so obviously my reaction to the program is a lot different to what it's turned out into. But now, after learning about interfaith dialogue and different religions and everything to do with that topic, my hope for the world is now so much more, because now so many more people know about it, they can spread it to their friends. I've already spoken to it about it with my family, saying like all of these stereotypes and things that we hear so not nice to what they really are, now discovering about it even further is, I think, has benefited me so much, and I feel like there's a lot more hope. I hope I've answered that correctly. Thank you.
Peace be upon you all. This is my second year in the Building Bridges Interfaith Dialogue. Last year, when I first joined Building Bridges, I volunteered to join it, and to be honest, I thought it was going to be awkward throughout the whole program. I thought that no one's going to get along, they're just going to say stuff about the religion and that's it. But to be honest, that changed what I thought about it. It actually, I learned a lot about the other faiths, about the Christian faith, about the Jewish faith, and it cleared some misconceptions that I used to hear about the different faiths. And I reckon that there can be hope in this world, especially from us youth. If it starts from us youth and we grow up together, there will be peace in this world and there will be hope. Thank you.
Isn't loaded, but what do you guys feel are the most significant issues faced by your generation and mine and the world that we live in of today? And what are how are the learnings that you have made across this year in Building Bridges apply to solving or going towards solutions to these problems? Now, I have personal thoughts about one of the most pressing issues in the world, but I want to see what's pressing for you guys and how does what you've learned apply?
Two that immediately sprung to mind are apathy and ignorance, and just the ideas that we're not, because some of us may have not our education sources maybe from, say, the media, which has a bias of its own. We seem to not be able to understand the human aspect of it, and to understand that everyone interprets a religion in their own way, so we don't understand the individualism of a religion, and so we tend to, that's how stereotypes I see occur in modern day, which I think with Building Bridges has really helped me to break them down and to actually to have a better understanding of how religions and how people of religions and how people see religions and how people interpret and act on their religious beliefs. Also apathy in the sense that once we've gotten the information, we don't seem to act on it. We seem to just put it aside, or we don't even learn about it in some cases. And I find that on the last session that I had with my group, we were asking what we were going to take from interfaith and from Building Bridges, and how we were going to implement it. And I decided to say that I'm going to try and learn a bit more about different faiths, and to try and so whenever I'm faced with a situation that someone's trying to attack another belief, I'll be able to stand up for that belief and as equally as I could for Judaism.
For me, one of the most pressing issues that faces our generation is discrimination, whether it be for religion, race, or so many other things that face us today.
it's hard to say that everybody is unprejudiced, because I know that I found it hard sometimes not to judge people. I try not to be unprejudiced, but I think being involved in the Building Bridges program has been just a way to interact with people of different faiths and to break down the stereotypes, because it's hard to say that we don't stereotype people. And I think, especially for me, being able to come in every week or so and talk with people my own age about stuff like this and from different religions, it's just being able to break down those barriers of discrimination and just have more of a sense of community. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a pressing issue is equality. Like, although we've reached equality in our Building Bridges groups, I think that it's still very prominent around the world and very pressing and needs to be addressed. Like, we've managed to reach equality in our Building Bridges groups, but that needs to be reached around the whole world, so yeah.
It's time now for us to hand out our certificates of participation. First of all, Aquinas College. Avila. Bialik. Caulfield Grammar. Caulfield. Caulfield Grammar, Wheelers Hill.
It's the other one. Is there a Caulfield Grammar,
Wheelers,
Caulfield campus?
Caulfield Grammar, Caulfield person? Lovely. Donvale Christian College. East Preston Islamic College. Emmaus. Kilbreda. Callista. Luther. Mazenod. Minaret. Mount Hira. Mount Scopus. Nazareth. Strathcona. And Strathy. Where's our Strathcona girl? One Strathcona girl. And lastly, but not leastly, Xavier. Now we'd like to take a group photo.